social media. We will get you out here well before the top of the hour, give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time instead of live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us here for today on Wednesday is Chris Ruffolo. It's Wednesdays with Mitch, Big Al McMordie. Dana Lane will sign in bottom of the hour. Wayne Scott, James Clark with us here today, as well as Rod Zawacky. And here's how the lineup for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Mitch, McMordie, Scott, Clark, Zawacky, Lane, and then I will close this one out. All right. A lot of college hoops on the board tonight, NBA, NHL as well. A big week of action, so let's get this one underway. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffolo. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Hope we catch the morning shows here every day. Of course, you'll catch him during the week at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time as Mitch and Jay will join him. We'll bring in Chris, ready to roll here, college hoops coverage. Chris, what's happening?
Tony, not a whole lot. Like you said, just going through the college hoops card. And it was a big one today. Not as big tomorrow, but definitely quality over quantity tomorrow. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, All right, here we go. College hoops tonight. We've got Iowa facing North Florida. Here, as we see a big line here with Iowa favored 26, the total 166.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't lay in big numbers with favorites, not necessarily everybody's cup of tea. But to me, one of the things that I look at, especially the last couple of seasons in the early part of the schedule, is Iowa against non-conference teams and like the lesser non-conference teams specifically. You look at last year, just as sort of a baseline. Iowa played 5 teams in the bottom 200, outside the top 200 in KenPom, and they went 4-1 in those games. They had that upset loss against Eastern Illinois as 31.5-point favorites, but in the 4 wins, the Iowa Hawkeyes had an average margin of victory of 37 points per game in those. Fran McCaffrey loves beating up on these lesser teams, and while North Florida, I'm sure, will have their moments in the ASUN this season, I just frankly think they're overmatched in this game. This is, an Iowa team that's 13th in offensive efficiency. They don't turn the ball over. They're 3rd in turnover percentage on offense. They're top 100 in 2-point percentage and from the foul line as well. North Florida shoots their free throws really well, 84%. But this is an Iowa defense that's top 60 in terms of allowing teams to get to the free throw line. They don't give up many free throws. I just don't see where all the scoring opportunities are going to come for North Florida here. So I got to go with another beatdown from Iowa, and this one I'm going to lay the 26 points.
All right, Chris, let's go ahead and lay the 26 here in this one with Iowa here against North Florida. Chris just says this one is going to be just a blowout city. And this one, of course, McCaffrey, of course, they play fast. And, of course, you're not always going to get the defense. We did see North Florida drop one on the road here to LSU, but they got within 12 of them.
They did, but to me, the way I see that is that's still a lot of pieces from an LSU team that went 2-16 in SEC play last year. They ran through the non-conference portion of their schedule pretty well. They went 11-1, but it was still a rough year for LSU last year. Not to say that they haven't improved this year, but I think Iowa is just a whole other ball of wax. Like I said, this team is stacked. They just seem to keep rolling over. When you look at Iowa. And sometimes you see all the talent that sometimes leaves, like most notably like the Murray brothers the last couple of years. It just kind of, wonders, well, are they going to be able to reload? And Peyton Sanford's been really good for Iowa this year. And Iowa just kept their foot on the gas offensively, so I have no reason to think they won't do it again here.
Yeah, this is a bad defensive North Florida team. Gave up 87 to South Carolina State, 81 to Presbyterian. You think we might see triple digits from this Iowa team?
I wouldn't put it past Iowa. I mean, they already did it at home against a decent North Dakota team, 110 in their season opener, 98 against Alabama State. And then they're putting up decent numbers against teams like Creighton and Seton Hall as well, 84 and 85 in those games. So against the 330th ranked defensive efficiency team in North Florida, I definitely think the century mark is a possibility here.
Yeah, and probably a promising here when you look at a team that's obviously moving here fast with these high scoring totals is the fact third least turnover team offensively. That's pretty good when you put up these type of points.
Yeah, they play at a breakneck speed. They're 10th in average possession length on offense, and like you said, third in turnover percentage. When you take care of the basketball, obviously it's going to give you more chances at putting points on the board. And North Florida, they're sort of middle of the pack in terms of possession length on offense, but I think they're going to be forced to play this one at Iowa's speed, and I just have a feeling that Iowa's just going to cash in on their possessions, and North Florida's going to be a lot more few and far between.
There we go, Chris here. Iowa, 26 seems to be the number now. It's moved up since we put this up about an hour ago, so there's to be some money coming to Iowa tonight here. This one's at 9 p.m. Eastern time. This one will be aired over on Big Ten Network. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight. A lot of hoops action tonight here. Chris has been on fire. You can see the numbers here, 2,670 units of private. That is over the past 30 days. That is all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. So if you go to Chris's handicapper page, all those numbers are there for you to see. All right, Chris, NBA tonight, lots of college hoops. A few on the ice as well. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
A nice bounce back day yesterday. Had a tough weekend, so getting to see if you go through the hoop yesterday was key. But today, got a couple things on the board. We got a 3-pack from college hoops. Also got my NBA fast break on the board. But best value of all of them is to check out a long-term pass. It's going to get you all the plays for today, NFL tomorrow, even the conference championships for college football Friday, Saturday. So whether that's with me or just someone else, a part of the 2-for-1 capper deal or multi-capper deal, definitely the way to go. So check it out over at Pick Dogs Premium.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dog Premium. Great past 30 days, guys. So get on board. Use a promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Great time for those long-term passes. All right, Chris, as always, great having your show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But we can also catch up with you here on the mornings with the morning show and, of course, with your video series, NHL Wraparound.
Yeah, the wraparound, we're having a ton of fun doing them. You can see it, like Tony put up on the screen there. Make sure you're subscribed. You get the newest and most up-to-date content when it gets released at Pick Dogs. That goes for everything. All of our live shows, our videos, our game previews, and all our long-form videos, too, like Ron's college basketball rundown, Jay's NFL rundown, and NBA. My NHL, so definitely check it out over at Pick Dogs. Got tons of content for you guys coming up.
Check it out, guys. Like, subscribe, set those notifications so when these videos drop, you get them right away, get those best numbers. All right, Chris, have a great week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, Tony. Have a good week.
You as well. Chris Ruffolo here on the drive through. Let's continue here on the show. More college basketball, big game hunting here with Mitch. Of course, you know to catch up here on the mornings here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time during the week on that morning show. Of course, you catch his 7 picks in 5 minutes. Mitch, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just enjoying being here. My schedule's super tight these days, so just glad I can make it for the show.
Glad to have you here. Of course, so we said big game hunting tonight. ESPN has this one here. True road game for Duke here facing Arkansas. We see Duke here at 4 on the road, total 148.5.
Yeah, we're seeing 4s, 4.5s. I saw 5s even earlier today. But this line is actually coming down, and for good reason. The Hogs are absolutely loaded with top-tier NBA talent on this team, and they didn't play that well in that over the holiday in the tournament. What happened is that in the tournament scenario, you're playing game after game after game, one day after another. They got into a battle against Stanford, and that's going to happen to everybody. They're going to get into a game against a team that who's a big boy team, from a big boy conference, and they play against the big boy teams, and they're going to stand up in a tournament scenario. I mean, it's what makes college basketball what it is. And that game went to double overtime. So Arkansas got dragged through the mud for 2 more days, and by the time they were done, I mean, they played against a Memphis team that is mad. I mean, they're just possessed. And then they play up against North Carolina, who was a little bit fresher than them, but hadn't played all that well in that tournament either, and was in the losers bracket there. But by the time Arkansas got to Carolina, they were just done. I mean, they were just spent. That double overtime versus Stanford, and then the Memphis game, which was a track meet the next day. And then by the time they got there, so Brazil only played 20 minutes and didn't score a point against Carolina. Davis only played 23 minutes and he didn't score a point. And Mark scored 34 points in that game. Mitchell had 5 points. So it's like their star of star players, the guys who are making the big money at Arkansas, didn't really even get to play much in those games. So the public perception you would believe would be that Arkansas maybe isn't very good this season, or that maybe it's a down year for them, when actually maybe they're a little thinner on the depth than they were last year. But you got to remember they had 2 lottery picks on the roster last year. And but Musselman can flat out coach. There's some noise in the background I hear. It's like I don't know what it is. I'm rustling around, man. But if everyone can mute themselves, I'd appreciate it. But anyways,
Yeah, so you're getting back to the Muscleman. Yeah, the Muscleman.
Raking leaves or something.
No, the Muscleman issue there, Mitch. Losing the 2 lottery picks, 2 players to the NBA. No doubt about that.
But he can flat out recruit. In Arkansas, they appear to have a lot of money in the bank here to go out and buy players. The thing that we've noticed in the transfer portal here with college hoops is that it's a lot different than what we see in college basketball. Teams are a lot less shameless when it comes to spending the money. Right? So it's, there's no shame whatsoever in it. Yeah, just whoever's making the noise, just boot them off the show. The thing is that it's they're shameless about it. So like you see teams like Villanova, it's clear, they had a guy who was an NBA draft pick, and all of a sudden he says, I'm not going to the NBA, because that means they dumped a pile of cash on him, and then Maryland's top player leaves to go to Villanova. It's like they're shameless about it. In college basketball, you could see some of the numbers. Hunter Dickinson goes to Kansas. It's not because he always wanted to be a Jayhawk and wanted to compete. It's because they offered him $1 more than any other school. So we have to remember that these players are paid, and some of these basketball schools have big bankrolls. Some of these schools just have big bankrolls in general. My wife went to Xavier. She got an email asking to make a donation for NIL money. This is what's happening around the world, and this is what college sports has become. These are, but Xavier's a private school, and they're asking for donations for NIL money to keep the basketball program competitive. They won't see a dime of my money, my wife wouldn't give them a dime of our money, for that. It's ridiculous. There has to be something done here. It's like, I believe that the players should get some money. I do believe that, the transfer portal is another thing that makes it a little bit right. But I think limiting players to 1 transfer throughout their entire college career is the way to go. And I think also, with the NIL money, to have it, you have a salary cap like they do in the NFL, man. This is worse. This is worse than professional sports. This is baseball all over again, where it's like they're just the teams that have the most money will have the best players and the deepest rosters, and you're seeing other schools like the High Points of the world working as a farm team. So I apologize for that sound. I don't know what's going on here, but
you guys hear that? Let me get that. So Mitch here on the Arkansas here plus the 5 here against Duke in this one. Also a lot of talking. We're talking about mentioning with Arkansas on the Duke side. How do you see this team this year?
I think that Duke is a good team. They're a scrappy bunch, but I think they're walking into a horrible spot here, and they haven't been battle tested like Arkansas has. They played the 1 game against Michigan State. It was actually a lot closer game, even though they did cover. It was a lot closer game than it should have been when you look at the talent disparity between those 2 teams. I think when we see Duke, the line here, I'm not a line watcher, right? And I'm not one of those people. But this point spread tells you everything you need to know about this game, because Duke is clearly the public side, and they're out there begging for Duke money. It's like the books are very comfortable with their position here, and I could see this game even going 3.5, because this is a later game today.
Yeah.
I think, Filipowski is a nice player. They have, of course, Roach. They have a good team. They have a lot of, they have high school All-Americans across the board. But what you see in these games, kind of like the Kentucky-Miami game, those teams play in a neutral site or something, it's probably, a nip-and-tuck game. Miami hasn't been blown out like that in quite some time, but they were absolutely crushed at Rupp Arena. You can see it in a lot of these games, just these one-sided or where the home team has really had the edge here. I think this is going to be that type of night for Duke, and they're just not going to get a lot of favors from this Arkansas crowd. I think, we know Duke is, when you sign up to go to Duke, this is what you sign up for, to go on the road, and you're the villain. I mean, you might be seen as, the Superman, to Dick Vitale and to the home crowd, but you go on the road to a place like Fayetteville, believe me, you're the devil, and they're going to be out to get you. And I expect it to be a real lathered up crowd tonight for this one.
Yeah, that sounds that way. Mitch here in Arkansas, plus 4 now here against Duke, 9:15 Eastern time. You could watch this one over on over on ESPN. All right, Mitch, I want you to let everybody know what's going on over at Pick Dogs Premium. Pretty exciting times now as we head into the holidays.
Yeah, this is our time. You know, we talk all summer long about how it's our slow time. Of course, we never really get a slow time or day off, but this is the busy time, and it runs pretty much all the way through to the NBA Finals, and we'll be covering it bigger and better than everybody else. We've already have the biggest college basketball coverage on the internet and on YouTube, and this week we'll be passing 100 million views on our YouTube channel lifetime in the last 2 years. And I gotta say, I've accomplished a lot of things online, and in my time I've been really fortunate with it. You guys have all been part of it, but this is really one of those ones that I gotta just really actually take a second and take it all in, because it's mind-boggling to see that 100 million come across. That's a lot of views.
That's quite a bit.
And that's a big number. You know, it's not like, I mean, I remember when I first had 100 million visitors a month to my website or something like that. It was a big deal too for something like that. But we're talking 100 million people in 2.5 years have watched our YouTube videos. And I mean, you know, it's nuts because we've all been part of it together, you know, and it's like, you know, our whole team, everybody, you know, and it's not such a small accomplishment when we look at everybody else that does YouTube videos. Tony and I were just talking about before the show started, and you know, you see all the people that are out there, but it's, you know, at Pick Dogs, we've done more than everybody else combined in the sports betting space as far as people watching our videos. And it's like, I think credit to our entire team, everybody, you know, that appears on the drive-through, that on the weekend shows, the guys that do videos, everything. It's taken a full team effort to get that, because we just keep bringing it. I understand we've probably done more videos than everybody else too, but you know what? I'm not going to apologize for trying harder. That's for damn sure. And we're never going to stop trying harder at all. So I'm really excited about it. I want to congratulate everybody on our Pick Dogs team. And it's really something to be super proud of. You know, I think it's a way bigger accomplishment than the 100,000 subscribers. It's way bigger.
Absolutely, no doubt about that.
I see people get 100,000 subscribers off a viral video or two. You can't get 1 million views on a viral video. You know, no chance.
Yep, that's absolutely
it's
true.
Something. This is like the rarefied air. You know, like our closest competitors in our space are like in the 30 million range. You know, we triple them up. It's like this is a big one. You know, and believe me, I'm real excited about it. Like I said, I haven't taken a lot of time over the last 16 years to really take in any of these victories. I'm always thinking about the next level. You know, it's like we get 100 million, I'm thinking about 1 billion, right? I am thinking about 1 billion, but I am going to take at least 5 minutes. I'm going to say, hell yeah, man, we did it.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to share it with everybody.
Great work, no doubt about that. All right, Mitch, have yourself a great evening, great rest afternoon, and we'll catch up with you again here on the drive-thru next week.
Yeah, we'll be at 100 million by then. So thanks, everybody, and we'll be celebrating again.
That's right. Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here, guys, on the show. Up next, we'll go ahead and welcome in Big Al McMordie. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Bring Big Al in right now, ready to roll. We'll find out about his all-access service as well. Big Al, how you doing?
Pretty good. Had to unmute myself. Great to hear all the accomplishments here at Pick Dogs from Mitch. Nobody works harder than Mitch, so it's really welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitch, really hard worker. Great job getting everybody together here on the Pick Dogs Sports Chat Place. And, of course, tonight we'll be looking here at NBA action here as we got the Lakers continuing this road trip against the Pistons. Lakers 7.5 here. We see total 230.5.
Yeah, I'm just looking. It's 8 at Circa, 8 at Bovada. I thought it was a little bit higher. Okay, so 7.5 in most places still. You're right. The Lakers, they lost by 44 points in their last game. That was LeBron, the worst loss suffered by a LeBron James team in his career. I actually like Los Angeles to bounce back off that blowout. NBA teams are 129 and 98 ATS with 5 pushes off a loss by 40 or more points going back to 1990. And additionally, when the Lakers have had a winning record, they've been terrific off bad losses. When they've lost by 15 or more points in that situation, they're 42 and 20 ATS. Detroit, along with San Antonio, those are the 2 worst teams in the league. Detroit currently riding, I think, a 14-game losing streak. So I've got no problems going against the Pistons here, and I'm going to lay the points with the Lakers.
All right, we got Big Al says go ahead and lay the points here with the Lakers here. Lay 7.5. We could do the line shopping, get the best numbers, no doubt about that. Of course, Lakers are facing the Pistons teams. Obviously, Big Al, when you look at NBA, the Lakers here facing a bad team like this Pistons team that plays bad defense. You kind of look. Do you look at those numbers when you run your data?
I look at everything when I run my data. I'm not sure I understand the question.
Oh, no, I was just asking here that you're looking for, basically when you run your data, looking at the Lakers against like a team of this, ilk, a really bad team, a real bad defensive team. I'm looking at things like losing streaks. How do teams do when you're on long losing streaks, et cetera, like that. I look at everything, but for me, this is just, Detroit's lost 10 games in a row, 11 games. You could, if you're trying to pick the spot Detroit's going to win, it could be a long while, I guess. But as far as the Lakers go, they're off one bad game. So I'm going to take the Lakers off the one bad loss. There you go, Big Al. Lakers,
regardless of who they're playing.
Okay.
And actually, when it's upset of that, it works best when the team is a underdog of 1.5 points to a favorite. It works not as well when they're getting 2 or more points, but here the Lakers are favored by 7.5 or 8, so that's fine.
What do you take from obviously? I know you probably say it's baked in the number. Do you truly believe that this in-season tournament? How are you factoring that? Of course, we get to the quarterfinal rounds. How do you see these?
I'm just looking. With the in-season tournament, it's kind of it's the first year, so I'm just kind of monitoring it. I know the underdogs got off to a good start. I can check what the data is right now and see. I could put on my glasses. I can't even see anything anymore. The favorites covered the last day, so it's starting to live up, but underdogs are still 31-26. There was a situation going into last night where favorites of like 3.5 to 6 points or something like that were 3-20 ATS, but Dallas got the money. In that situation yesterday as a 4-point favorite, but and so did Cleveland and Milwaukee. So that kind of point spread range kind of didn't work yesterday. But I'm just taking a look at it now. I don't really put too much stock in it. I'm not handicapping with that being like a particular factor, I guess is the best way to say it. I'm just treating it like any other game.
Like yesterday was a unique situation there. I don't know if you caught that Boston and Chicago game where Chicago had, Boston had to win by double digits by margin. I think the point, 13 points or more, and they were really trying to run up the score a little bit there against Chicago yesterday to get into that next round.
Yeah, and we saw that, what was the game? San Antonio was playing a team and they had a run out and then scored with a half second left. So instead of winning by 7, they won by 9 and they covered the 8.5. But if you begin thinking, I guess the best way to say this is, if you begin thinking, this team's going to want to blow them out because of margin of victory and all that, well, underdogs are still 31-26 ATS. So it kind of throws water on that whole idea about, let's bet on the teams because they'll need to win by large margins. Underdogs are still doing well in the tournament.
That's true. Well, of course, when you get into the final day, maybe that's something you might want to look at a game-by-game basis then, right? Because I think that's where the point differential gets more...
But they were still focused on point differential in game 1, game 2. They were focused on it the whole way because, all the points are treated equally. So you can't say it only matters here. The teams were trying to win by as many as points all the way through.
And now we get into the knockout stages, and we'll see how that rolls here. So these teams are now quarterfinal, semifinal. Oh, they're three wins away from getting $500,000. So they're playing for a bag.
I was looking at the NBA schedule. It's interesting how they're scheduling around this in-season tournament. They've got off days like before, and then also, I think December 3rd, I think is the date, whatever is like an off day where they don't have any games at all. And then they also don't have any games at all the day after the championship game is played. So I find that kind of interesting. They're really trying to, I guess, spotlight this tournament by having some off days surrounding it. But I don't know. I don't know what you're hearing, but does anyone really care?
I don't know. That's
I'm just asking.
Well, the Lakers coach Ham made it interesting. They asked him about that, right? Because Lakers have had success, and he goes, "Well, I'll tell you something about the NBA players. They don't like money; they love it. So they think this is the."
I'm talking about more about the fan base.
Oh yeah, the fans. Yeah, the fans are not into it. But I think we understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get more meaningful basketball, and also too, think about this: you're going up against NFL, you're going up against college football. Maybe you need to get some more eyeballs over here this time of the month. Trying to help their TV, their advertisers, and their TV partners.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just I'm so cynical now. But you've got 5 games in the in-season tournament, and then you've got 77 games, apart from the in-season tournament. So does that mean the players are going to go back to not caring again? I mean, that
seems to be the message, right? That seems not right. It's just,
I mean, if that's what you're saying, like we want our players to care. Well, how about care? Like, what are they going to do the other 77 games? Are they going to mail it in? Or are they going to sit out? Or are they going
that might have that type of effect there. That's something interesting. And notice how much they promote it. They're trying to add meaning to it. Maybe they're just trying to get more eyeballs for their advertisers, because everyone's talking about. You see the courts change. I guess they're trying to bring everyone's attention that this game really means something.
Yeah, I mean, all I hear from people is, "God, those courts are goddamn ugly," and like nobody cares. So.
It's an NBA regular season.
I mean, are TV ratings up for these games?
I wouldn't know. We'll be to see when they get to Vegas, right? We'll see how that rolls and how they play the championship game on a Saturday.
Yeah, we can reserve judgment, and we'll see if that gets any. But then again, they're having 2 games on a day, as opposed to having 11 games and having 2 of the 11 be part of. Because the real question would be, if they had the 2 games in Vegas and they also had 9 other games that weren't part of the tournament, would people just watch their favorite team, or would they watch the tournament?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch the San Antonio Pelicans game before I'd go watch the Milwaukee Bucks in-season tournament game. So
yeah, and then of course you'll have these 14 game schedules, 15 game schedules when they come back. That really makes it tough.
Anyway.
But all right, we got Big Al Lakers here, like the 7.5. Do your line shopping, guys. Every point matters. Every half point matters. You guys know that tonight. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium. Of course, we've got the NBA on the board. Lots of college hoops as well. Some good matchups on the board. ESPN Family and Networks deep in the league tonight. Of course, Big Al doing great work in college hoops. Also, you see the last 30 days, great results. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
I've got 1 play in the NBA, 5 plays in college basketball, including a triple pack. Off to a good start this basketball season, 65 and 47, I think, if memory serves me correctly. And I've also posted 1 NFL play already for Sunday, and may or may not be in action for the game tomorrow in the NFL, and may have some hockey as well.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dodge Premium. You see the great results there in college hoops. Also, last 30 days, monster good performances as well. Nearly 600 units of profit. So get on board with Big Al. Get those long-term passes. That will serve you well. Big Al, we also have your all-access pass. Really good value, too, as well.
Yeah, it's for folks who can get down, 1,000 on up. It's for the high rollers. And just text Big Al to 775-636-7676. And we can talk about the all access. You get all of our plays. You get them rated 10 through 1 or 10 stars down to 1 stars. And then as well, you can ask me about any game on the card at any time of night and or day, as the case may be. And so it is all access. And just text Big Al to the 775-636-7676, and we can tell you all about it.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Big Al. All access to those big bankroll players. All right, Big Al, have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you again on the show tomorrow.
Thanks, Tony. I'll talk to you on Thursday.
You as well. Big Al McMordie here on the Drive, dude. Let's continue on. Up next, we'll bring in Wayne Scott. Catch him over at Pick Dodge Room. We'll bring in Wayne right now and be on the board from Wayne. We'll get him here in just a second. Wayne, what's happening? Wayne, you're on mute there. I think everybody's on mute where we have some.
All right, we're good.
We're good now. Wayne's good.
Right.
He got it fixed.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
It's going great. All right, here we go tonight. NBA features the Jazz on the road facing the Memphis Grizzlies. We see the Grizzlies up to 4.5, total 223.5.
Yeah, I'm not understanding this line at all. Maybe this is one of the ones where the books know something we don't do, but I'm definitely falling for the bait. Memphis losing 4 in a row. Even in these 4, I'll give them. They've been playing some tough teams, but they just depleted, man. They lack depth. They lack starting power outside of Baines and JJJ. They're just not getting no offensive production. Memphis, we used to be able to bank on Memphis at home. They are 0-8 at home, struggling to cover. They have been favorites 3 times at home this year, 0-3 as favorites. Just not looking great on the season. Defensively, they're 19th, but at home they've been playing a little bit worse. Offensively, they are 29th, and at home they've been playing worse. Not only that, they're struggling to score 100 points in their last 3 games, averaging 92 points in their last 3 games. On the other side of that, the Jazz, they haven't been playing great either, but they have a history of beating. They have a history of beating Memphis, going 6-4 in their last 10 against them, 7-2-1 ATS in their last 10 against them. They beat them twice already this season, once as a favorite and once as an underdog. They worried me a little bit. Utah, they've won both of their games versus New Orleans. They look great, but then they start sitting guys. They kind of do what they do last year. Every time they get a couple of wins, they sit guys. But this team is loaded, man. They got a lot of young talent coming off that bench with Sexton, Ochai. We still haven't even seen their draft picks get in much this year with Hendricks and Sandoval. We may see one of them guys siding with them with some of the injuries they have. But I love Utah here. We're getting points with the better team, better offensive team, better rebounding teams. Just better all around the board. Definitely, on the season, they haven't been playing great defense, but these last 3 games, we've seen their defense spike up, and they've been bringing it. So give me Utah +4 here.
All right, Wayne says take Utah Jazz here +4. Plus 4.5. You're line shopping. Obviously, get the best numbers. You'll see different numbers, different places. Yeah, Olenek will be coming off the bench here for Utah. You're at 7, Sexton, Horton, Tucker. So they've got some guys that can put some points up.
Yes, sir. They definitely have a bench. Definitely have a starting lineup. It just it's weird, man. When they get to winning a few in a row and look like they have a little potential team, they start to rest in some of their better players. So I don't know if they're trying to stockpile draft picks or something. They done did this last year. They got rolling pretty a lot better than this last year. They got rolling early and just started sitting guys. So you gotta watch them for that. But I think they come out here and compete against Memphis. Memphis is way too depleted for me to look their way right now. Until they actually turn it around, start getting wins with their younger guys, I have to look Utah's way. They've actually been covering. They may not have the best record, but they've been covering. They may not have played well on the road, but they've been playing well recently, and I look at them playing well here.
Yeah, no Morant in the lineup, no Marcus Smart. Kennard is a guy that can make threes, so you're kind of looking off the bench here. Roddy, Derrick Rose, Zaire Williams, Konkar, and then, of course, in the lineup now is Jake Gillard, Biyombo, who's been moved around, has been around the league. Jackson and Bain are your tops, but, man, it's just paper thin here, man.
Yeah, man, I looked at everything you just said, and them guys just do not scare me off that bench. It's gonna take a vintage Derrick Rose. It's gonna take a Lofton scoring 20, and Jazz have not been playing good defense on the road, as I mentioned, but they've been playing good defense lately. So hopefully they turn that around on the road. And Jazz just got the way better scoring team, way better rebounding team. Jazz do turn the ball over a little bit more than Memphis, but at the same time, Memphis don't force a lot of turnovers. So when Jazz get to turning the ball over, it's against the better team. Another thing I looked at, Jazz 15th in 3 ball, and Memphis is 30th when it comes to stopping the 3. So there's a lot of things that don't look good in Memphis' way for me to lead them. And I'm getting points with the Jazz, so take the points here. I think it started off at like 4.5. We down to 4. They took the hook away. I'm still not worried. We'll take the 4.
Take the 4 there, Wayne here. Jazz plus the 4 against the Grizzlies tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, we do have on the board tonight NBA. Good card from the NBA tonight. A lot of college hoops up there in action for you on the ice as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Loaded, absolutely loaded college basketball card. I have plays out there today, and 3 NBA plays. So it's a loaded card for basketball, loaded card for me, period. You want to hop on that? I have a 5-pack for you guys with all my college basketball and a 3-pack with all my NBA. As always, I have my best bet in each one of those out there for you buy. So catch me long term. You catch me long term, you get all those plays, and you don't got to get it package by package. You can save a lot more money that way, and you'll get my plays coming into the weekend. So long term is always a way to look at it as well. If that's not for you, my best bet is always individually put out there as well too. So let's get it tonight, man. A lot of basketball. Definitely looking forward to this card tonight.
That's right, guys. Get up our Wayne Scott over at Pick Dog Trim. Get those long-term passes. 3-7 or third day pass. Pick promo code. Save that 15% off. All right, Wayne, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'll be on here tomorrow. Boxing coming up. Ryan Garcia fights this weekend. Not really a big name, but definitely in the digging and if I can get some good out for us, so we can get a good bet on this weekend card.
All right, like, subscribe, set those notifications so when Wayne drops those boxing videos, you get those plays and get the best numbers. All right, Wayne, make it a great night. We'll catch up with you tomorrow.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me, Tony T. Y'all take care. Good luck on your best tonight, Pick Dog family.
You got it. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, James Clark. Catch him over at Pick Dog Trim. We'll go to the Skype world and bring in James. I think we'll get ready to roll here. More NBA coverage on this card tonight. James Clark. James in the Skype world tonight, so let's get him in the right. James, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. How you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. Everything's going well tonight. Looking forward to this NBA card. Lots of college hoops to keep an eye on. Of course, I'm keeping my eyes on some of this college football as well. There's been a lot going on here. And tonight, we got the Sixers and the Pelicans going head-to-head. We see 76ers a 3.5-point favorite now, a total 230.5.
Yeah, guys, you look at these two teams, and they've been playing really well here of late. Sixers have been playing real good all season, 12-5. They won 3 of their last 5 games. And, the Pelicans are 9-8, and they've won 3 of their last 5 games. So both teams are coming in playing well, and Pelicans are getting healthy. They get C.J. McCollum back. He's been out for a few games, and I think that's the edge tonight with McCollum coming back. I know the Sixers are favored, and they should be the way they've been playing. But I think the Pelicans take it to them tonight. I like the Pelicans on the money line. We're getting plus money with a real team that's been playing really good when they had all their starters healthy. They've been playing pretty good with McCollum out. And, you got to look at the Sixers, too. The Sixers have been playing really good, too. But, when they come up against some tough teams, they struggle to find if Maxey ain't hitting, they struggle to find their scoring or Embiid. And I think with Williams and then McCollum, like I said, McCollum's coming back, I like the Pelicans tonight. I just think the better outside shooting. Sixers Embiid's going to do his thing inside, but I think the Pelicans win it on the outside.
All right, James here on Pelicans here, money line plus 117 here against the 76ers. We've seen some of that line moving up here, 3.5. Howes, Oubre, Springer out for Philadelphia. Murphy and Ryan here. These are some backups. But, man, I know one thing here with this Pelicans team, Ben, you mentioned, when you got all 3 healthy in the lineup, keep an eye out on this team. McCollum, Ingram, these and Zion, those 3 in the lineup, this lineup is lethal.
It is, Ingram and Williams, Zion's been pretty healthy pretty much of the season. McCollum, like I said, McCollum has been out the last, I think, 4 or 5, maybe 6 games, but he comes back tonight, and like we said, this team is lethal. Scoring outside, and the inside, Zion's dominating on the boards, and the way he can jump, his athletic ability. I think the Sixers have a hard time with that. With the threes knocking down, the mid-range shot from Ingram, and then inside from Zion, I think the Pelicans win this game tonight.
All right, James here, Pelicans money line plus 117 against the Sixers, 8 Eastern time. All right, James, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight's action. Of course, we do have action up on the board tonight here from the NBA. Let's get this corrected here. Up on the NBA tonight, as well as a big college basketball card. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Guys, I'm just with the NBA right now, sticking with the bread and butter. I've won 6 out of my last 8 days with the NBA, and I'm going to stick to it. I got a 3-pack, 3 plays that I really love in the NBA. Almost went 3-0 last night, 1 point away but that was yesterday. But today we are going to go 3-0. So hop on this 3-pack, and after we go 3-0, I'd break 3, 7, or 30 days, guys. Or also I got my 10-star play out there, and I've hit 10 of the last 12 10-star plays. It's my NBA 10-star play, easy winner, a play that I think will win pretty easy. So if you want to win some easy money, I got that out there too. Or like I said, get the 3-pack. And like I say every time on the show, guys, we got the best cappers in the world, and we do by far. So team me up with any cappers you see tonight on the show or on the site. We'll put some money in your pockets.
That's right, guys. Got to work with James Stark over at Pick Dogs Premium. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Remember, those long-term passes will serve you well. That 30-day pass covers all of NFL, of course, a lot of the bowl games as well from college football. All right, James, as always, great having you show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again on Friday.
All right, Tony. Appreciate you having me on the show. Let's catch this Pelicans win, and I'll see y'all Friday.
We'll see you Friday. James Clark here on the Drive-Thru. Let's continue on here on the Drive-Thru. Up next, Rod Zawacky. We'll bring him in right now. Actually, we got Rod Zawacky up next. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring Rod in here in just a second. We'll be ready to roll here with the Rod. Let's see if we get him set to go here on the show. Let's see. We've got the connection set up to go. Let me see if we got Rod ready to go. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much, Tony. Ready to go tonight. Rough start to the week, 2-2, so let's get a nice winner for these fine folk. Definitely. Hey, we made big money on Feast Week.
Yes.
Yeah, championship kickoff. Tough start to. Just like I said, that Clemson team, watch out. They are for real. That defense came to play, and those 3 in that game definitely got us. I figured that Alabama would pull away. There was a couple chances there. Figured they would pull away, but nope. Clemson just kept reeling them in, and then that last 8 minutes or so, they just pulled away. Ooh.
Yep, that looked that way. That's right, no doubt. Tonight we got that ACC SEC challenge continues here with North Carolina hosting Tennessee tonight on ESPN here in about 20 minutes or so. North Carolina laying 2 total, 145.5.
Yeah, and you look at this one, Tennessee, their biggest asset is defensively. They play lights out, solid defense, holding teams to 61 points per game. Offensively, this Tennessee team is definitely not the greatest shooting team. They struggle on the offensive end of the board to score a whole lot of points. So they play top-notch defense. You look at this North Carolina team, and for me, I'm looking at this offense and look at the numbers. They're off to a huge offensive start, 85.3 points per game. But look who they played in those games. Sure, and a lot of these teams can score 90 points against who they played. I think Tennessee, with the tougher schedule, look at their last 2 games. They had to play Kansas and Purdue and lost both of those, but both held those teams to huge defensive numbers, and it went under the total. So for me, I like a defensive battle here because I think North Carolina can play some defense as well. So I think this total at 145.5. I like it. I've got it capped under more like 143, even lower than that is what they should be, because Tennessee's going to come to play defense, and so can this Carolina team. Don't let those offensive numbers scare us away from this under, because Carolina's played some soft teams to start the season early on. Now this is the most toughest defensive task for North Carolina facing. They lost to Villanova last time out, took overtime, and that probably was heading well to the under, and then overtime sent it over. So I like the under here in this one.
All right, Rod says go under 145.5 to your line shopping. Get the best numbers here against Tennessee. Yeah, as you mentioned, Tennessee putting up number 1 in defensive efficiency. And here, out of their 6 games, here are some of the teams they played: Wisconsin, Syracuse, Purdue, Kansas. And you can even throw in Wofford as a game number 5, and their 6th game was Tennessee Tech. That's some pretty good competition there to sit number 1 defensively.
To sit number, yeah, exactly, right? They played the gauntlet of the schedule as this Tennessee team, and they've stepped up defensively. They have lost some of those games, but give them credit. They've hung in a lot of those games and held some big top 5 teams down in points wise. As you said, look at some of those games. They held Kansas to 69 points. They held Purdue to 71 points. Wisconsin, they got the win, held Wisconsin to 70 points. Who else did they play? FAU was that was last season. They got a win there. See, I Tennessee win this one. I can see why people think Tennessee might win this one. North Carolina has had a soft schedule, but on defensively, this is going to be first to, I think we're in the high 60s, 69, 67, somewhere. I think this comes right down to the wire. I think North Carolina gets the job done at home here, but I like the under as the play. Take the 145.5 and take the under.
Yeah, all right, there we go. From Rod says take the under. Tennessee, North Carolina, under 145. 7:15 Eastern time tonight over on ESPN. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. Of course, we got NBA on the board as well as college hoops. A few on the ice. The Kings in action out here in LA. Good results in NFL and college football for the year for Rod. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And over at Pick Dogs Premium, my top play, I got my NBA drop a dime play. We hit that with the Nets. Looking to hit back-to-back with it. You can scoop it up singly over at Pick Dogs. I also have my $19 NHL sniper play. You can scoop that one over at Pick Dogs Premium. And I also have a college basketball bird cage going over at Pick Dogs Premium. I also put up my Pac-12 championship game on Friday. And I'm slowly putting in the Saturday's cards. Slowly, I've got 2 in so far. I got the Big Ten championship and the SEC championship up slowly. So your best way to go is to grab something long term. I'll have a whole pile in the championship weekend. So you'll get today's, grab a week pass. Use that promo code PICK at checkout and join me for the week as we continue to crush the bookies. We got lots of college basketball, lots of college football. NFL's looking real good this week. Lots of hockey, lots of action. Jump aboard. Let's continue to crush the books and make some money.
Single Landing Day with Rod Zawacky. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. All right, Rod, it's always great having a show. Anything on the bonus side?
What was I looking at? I had something over here for you guys. You know what? Everybody's going to be jumping. I like the New York Rangers. I like that under. And you know what? I think it's a lower scoring one. As I said in the video, I kind of like the under here. Rangers are going to be a little bit mad. They lost on the weekend to Buffalo 5-1. They got pantsed by Buffalo. So this Rangers team is going to bounce back defensively. You know, I'm going to go with the final score of 3-2. Rangers win it.
There you go.
Make that the exact score. Nice little bonus. Rangers win it 3-2 tonight versus Detroit.
All right, you got that from bonus. And, of course, Rod has got his NHL video series. Big card tomorrow coming up.
Massive card coming up. Just about to release those, so like, subscribe. That way you get notified when the 14 videos get dropped, plus the parlay video. So 15 videos getting dropped in the NHL. Massive day on the ice tomorrow, so definitely go check those out. Will be soon in the archives over there at Big Dogs.
That's right, guys. Check them out. Make sure to like, subscribe, set those notifications so when Rod drops those videos, you get them right away. Get the best numbers. All right, Rod, have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday.
Yeah, definitely have yourself a good one, everybody. Lots of hoops action. I'm excited to tune in and watch that. A little bit on the ice quiet side, but that's okay. As you said, your things are in action. Definitely be tuning into that one as well. So definitely enjoy the sports action tonight. Good luck with all your bets, and we'll catch you on Friday, everybody.
Indeed. Rod Zawacky here on the drive through. Let's continue on our coverage, guys. We'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. My game's going to start in a few minutes. We're going to get to Dana Lane here. I'm going to go Wizards Magics under 235. We'll talk about this one after Dana's segment. That'll be my pick. Let's continue on here on the drive through. Up next, we'll go ahead and welcome in Dana Lane. We'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's see. We'll bring in Dana right now. Ready to roll here. Let's see if we can catch him here in just a second. Dana Lane. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, Tony, how are you?
I'm doing great. All right, here we go tonight, 7:30 Eastern time, about a little more than half an hour away. Suns and Raptors going head-to-head tonight. Keep an eye on the injuries on this one. We have the Raptors, Dogs here. Suns 3.5 on the road, total 227.5.
Yeah, this total's jumped up to 229, and the last time I checked, maybe you have something different, but I know that Grayson Allen will be out tonight with a undisclosed injury. It does look like Kevin Durant's going to be in the starting lineup. And of course, he's been nursing that foot injury over the last week. And practice yesterday, by all accounts, everything was good. I think from a total standpoint, we're still, you have to count on some rust. I mean, after a week, that's a long time out. Do you have anything else on that injury front?
Well, Frank, I can now. This is still expected. We don't have anything confirmed, but out is Allen, Beal, Lee, and Little for Phoenix, and only Koloko on the Toronto side. But we can confirm Durant in the lineup.
Yep. And so we're looking at a Suns team that's fifth in the league in offense. Unfortunately, you never. I don't have the breakdown of what combination is the best there, because we seem to be getting a different combination from the Suns every night. But we do know from a Toronto standpoint, probably not where they want to be record-wise, but they are very good defensively. They're 10th in the league on defense, and we know that they're really tenacious in the paint. We know they do a great job of creating turnovers. They have tremendous length. They have tremendous size. They got guys that are playing a 2 that would play a 4 on other teams. So I think that's really going to bother Phoenix. Look, if this turns into a half-court game, this is in the favor of Toronto. If this turns into a transition game, it's in the favor of the Suns. And, Toronto's not very good in transition defense, but that's mostly because they turn the ball over quite a bit. If they limit the turnovers tonight, and again, like I said, turn it into a half-court game, I think we're looking at an under here, and it's at 229. So you want a 229.5 last time I checked. So you really want to watch right up until game time, until that last minute, maybe even get a 230.5. But this number has been creeping up all day, and I've liked the under, and I've watched that thing go up. I thought maybe after the Allen injury that it would stay put, but that just hasn't been the case. So I like the under in this game tonight.
Yeah, I knew they're going and shop the best number, get the best number here. Suns and Raptors from Dana to go under total here of 227.5. 229 if you do your line shopping, get the best number. No doubt, the Suns, a team that, they really lack some depth. And you take Allen, Beal, Lee out, they're going to need a lot out of their starting five. And you said Durant coming back rusty.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a guess. I mean, you always have to throw in the psychological aspect of these games. And plus, on top of that, I mean, the last 5 times, matter of fact, that Toronto has gone to, or Phoenix has gone to Toronto, they've failed to score 110 points, which they really need to do to push this game over the total. We saw that Toronto just came off of back-to-back games where they failed to have a 20-point score. So everything to me is kind of focused on that going under in this game, especially with the total going up. The other thing, too, is from a Phoenix standpoint, this is the last game of the road trip, and they get to go home and face the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets, we don't think of them the way that we did last year, but this possibly is a double look-ahead spot. I always love to play against good teams who are being asked to lay a lot of points on the road in the last game of a road trip, and then they go home and play, one of the upper echelon teams of the league. That's a double look-ahead spot to me. So I think we're going to see a little bit of sloppy basketball, but if I'm Rajakovic, I just pack it in tonight and I say, you beat me from the outside. If you do, great. If not, we're gonna hang with you for most of the game.
All right, we got Dana here on the Suns and Raptors under 227.5 tonight at 7:30 Eastern time. All right, Dana.
Wait, you're giving me 227? I thought we were up to 229.
227. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm showing 227, 227.5. Well, stop 229. Well, that's what I'm seeing here on the live odds. So 227. Okay. Maybe there's some buyback. It opened at 223. It's come down. It's gone up. Actually, I'm seeing a 228.5 now. Zoom up right now in Vegas. So yes,
I think if you look over at I think if you look over at Circa, I got 229 at Circa, and there's offshore company that's 229 as well. So
I just saw.
I'm
seeing it red. I'm seeing red come up. It's starting to go up right now as we speak. Yeah, Circa had it at 228.5. They're ahead right now. Everybody else looks to be catching up. So you can find 228.5, 229s. I'm sure it'll pop up now as we're starting to see my live service now showing these numbers. I'm seeing some buyback now. In some of the places, some of them are buying it back down. So it's interesting to see. It's right now it's a fluid situation. I saw a buyback to 227 over at Pinnacle. So it's moving around, guys. So try and get the best numbers here with this injury news coming in. People may be looking for the advantage at high number. They may be trying to bring it down and buy it back. So get the right number. Tonight here, 7:30 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, we do have NBA on the board, NHL, a few games on the board as well. Lots of college hoops action. Dana doing great work in college football. We got a college football championship weekend coming up, a couple on Friday. Big games as well on Saturday. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
2 games left in college basketball, 2 games left in the NHL. Of course, these games are just about ready to go off. And of course, side and total in the Clippers-Sacramento game tonight. Also have my 3-pack, which you have, 2 minutes to take advantage of. I appreciate everybody that has. Get my 3 best NBA plays tonight for $49.99. Of course, my 30-day all-access and 90-day all-access pass is up there right now. Reduce the season pass in the NBA as I do as we get closer to each month. Try to slash it by $100 and give you a season pass for less than $100 a month, which is really the way to go. So thank you to everybody that has jumped on board. It was another terrific month in November, and I expect December to be even better.
All right, guys, again, we're with Dana Lane over at Pick.com. Great results you see here from college football. So a great time to get on board with Dana. Maybe the long-term pass, 1 month, 30-day all-sports pass. Get all of Dana's premium plays for 30 days, include your college football. That'll take you well into bowl season when you get on board with that. Also, Dana's showing great profit here this year in NBA, NFL, college football. 1 month pass, perfect value right now to get with all these sports overlapping. Pick as a promo code. You'll save that 15% off. Multi-cap promotions, saving you even more money. All right, Dana, as always, great having you show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again next week, but we also catch your video series over at Pick Dogs.
Yep. I also see you on the leaderboards too, Tony, and I'm like, man, this guy should be promoting his own stuff. He's always on every leaderboard I look at. But yeah, the video series against the public is up every day. Try to find 3 games at least where we could go against the public and talk about why the number's moving in the wrong direction, and had tremendous success and feedback on that. So that's definitely been a godsend to add to the arsenal every day.
That's right, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, set those notifications. Great information there from Dana, long-term Las Vegas resident, knows this stuff inside and out. So you get really good picks as well as knowledge from Dana. All right, Dana, keep up the great work, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
You as well, Tony. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the drive through. Let's continue on. You guys got my pick. My pick's going to start in about 5 minutes, and we'll get back to it here. As you already saw, I was going under in that game because with Orlando and the Washington Wizards, a team that you know that can play fast. But again, with the let's get here to the game. Actually, oops, what did we do? We saw I got college. What do I got college up there? Let me see. Let me flip. Let me change this. I didn't change my card. I've changed everybody's card but mine. Yep, I'm still got the college up there. So let me go ahead and put the NBA up there so we can tell you about the game that's going to start in about 5 minutes. And I'm going to have to change the game because I'm not doing Dana's game. That's Dana's game. So let's get back to this here. Move it a little bit here. Down, up, down. Where we roll. Here we go. Wizards Magic, right? That's what we're going with. Previous pick. That's Rod's. There's Dana. There's mine. Okay, we're going under 235. You can also find a hook there if you do your line shopping. Really, we know Washington plays fast, but really not a very efficient team, right? They have their struggles, no doubt. But you're looking here at an Orlando team that is second in defensive efficiency, holding teams to 107 points per 100 possessions. Wizards really struggle to make that 3-point shot. You know, when you're playing at this fast pace, you're not hitting those threes. So we're going to go under 235.5 here. Let's go with Orlando's good defense here to keep it down. It's a big number. When you're facing a team that's number 2 in defensive efficiency, it's there for a reason, right? They're there for the reason. Some folks like that over. Yeah, I can understand you like it over because it's the Wizards, but the Wizards are on the road, not the most efficient team at all. Can't make threes. So we'll go under there in this one. All right, guys, check out Pick.com. We've got a best bet up there right now on the board from the NBA, so get on board. You can also get on board with my long-term pass. I have a 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. Get all my pre and plays when you get on board with me on that long-term pass, 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. Of course, use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. Also, multi-capper promotions make it an even greater value there. All right, let's get to the recap for the show. All right, we start off with Chris. Chris, like Iowa, laid the 24.5 against North Florida. Mitch was on Arkansas +5 against Duke. Al McMordie, Big Al says Lakers laid the 7.5 against the Pistons. Wayne was on the Jazz +4 against the Grizzlies. James says Pelicans money line +117 against the 76ers. Rod was on Tennessee and North Carolina under 145. Dana says the Sun Raptors under 227.5. I'll be on the Wizards Magic's under 235. The one I like the most, let's go with Wayne and those Jazz at +4. I'm sorry, not Wayne. Let's go with James on the Pelicans +117 money line against the 76ers. All right, that's going to do for this edition of the Drive Thru, guys. Be sure you guys tune again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers from Big Dogs and Sports Chat Place. They'll give the place for you in real time. Remember, it always gets started every day with that morning show. Of course, that's during the week at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with Mitch, Chris, and Jay. Of course, we've got Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes, Betting Tool Show, roundtable discussions, Jay's with his jam session, NFL as well as NBA. Chris with a wraparound NHL as well. We've got Rod Zawacky with his NHL video series. Of course, we've got Against the Public Betting there with Dana Lane. Al McMordie's All Access videos are up there for you as well. We got, as we also have our man Wayne with his boxing video series. You want to catch that. Of course, Ron Romanelli, college football, college basketball rundown video series. Of course, we've got Nick Menken, first half betting from the NBA. And more coming up here. Don't forget our man Mills Young, UFC rundown, also has his prop video of the day. Brad Francis with his parlay video of the day as well. Costi has his a sharp trading play video for you. Lots of content, guys, so make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications so when these plays are dropped, you get them in real time. All right, shout out to everybody there in the chat. Thank you guys for your contributions. Thank you guys for your picks. You guys with your picks in the live chat. We're seeing Lando86 likes New York Rangers in regulation. Nicholas Handy, Magic 9.5, and the LA Kings, the puck line against those hot LA Kings. And Darren Turner likes the over, I believe, in that Magic game. And let's Nicholas Handy. Hope we can get some more winners. You guys still have some time putting your picks. Appreciate everyone's contributions. Shout out there to folks in the chat room like Blake, like Lando86, Daryl Turner, Rod Zawacky in there as well. Weller Time, Jimmy Lee in there as well. Andy Edelson, shout out to you. Of course, Risk Carlton as well. Nathan Klooster in there. Zip made an appearance here. Ron Elson, shout out there to you as well. And of course, Nicholas Handy, the handyman, Nicholas Handy in the chat room as well. All right, that's going to do it for our show. Thanks to everybody for joining us. You got to see the latest picks there from the chat crew tonight. So let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. Goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll